Hi, my name is Frans Nauta and I'm a trainer at ClimateLaunchpad. This is a video for an extra module on jobs to be done and competition. So what is that about? Well, as you know, slide 7 in the pitch deck for the ClimateLaunchpad finals is about jobs to be done and competitive advantage. And we're going to dive a little deeper into that. More specifically, we're going to dive deeper into your competition. So let me tell you a little story about jobs to be done. I used to run a cinema like this in the center of Amsterdam called Criterion. This is it. And while I was working there, I worked there for 3 years, I learned a lot about competition. So when I started, my idea was my competition is other cinemas. But while I was working at nights, we would sometimes have these people at the bar that were like, oh, I'm so happy we didn't watch the sports game tonight. Or, gosh, I'm so happy we didn't go to the concert because this was such an amazing movie. So it turned out we were not at all in competition with other cinemas for most of our customers. We were actually competing with other places where you can spend your time. And, well, like I said, so this was our main hall. It still is. Well, I'm gone for a while, but this was. I learned that these were the 6 most important jobs that we got done for our customers. So again, the idea of jobs to be done is that your customers hire you to do a job for them. And we were hired by people who really wanted to see like really nice movies that were not the mainstream. So we were a small art house cinema, as they are called, and we had Japanese, Chinese, Italian, French, Spanish, sort of European and Asian movies in our theater that you could not watch in the bigger cinemas. So the movie connoisseurs were really happy with us. That was clearly one of the jobs that we got done. But we were also there for the friends night out and for people who just wanted to be around other people, socializing. We also found out that we were the perfect excuse for parents to be a night without the kids. They had this thing in the cinema that they needed to go to, and they sort of needed an excuse for that. And in the weekends it would turn around because we were perfect for the parents to get the kids out of the house. And there was dating, there were all kinds of jobs that we were doing for our customers. So for me, it was a big learning experience. Now remember maybe the startup we used as an example in the workbook and during the bootcamp called Sponge. So what is Sponge? Well, Sponge is a company that has this material that can work as a sponge. It's an organic material. And it's on the one hand super hydrophobic, so it repels from water, but it is oleophobic, so it attracts oil. And then it's very porous, so it can suck in really fast oil. It insulates against fire a bit, not completely of course, but a bit. And it's ferromagnetic, so you can attract it with a magnet. So all kinds of interesting properties. And their first beachhead market that they want to go into is the oil spills. So it's oil platforms, oil companies that have to deal with oil spills. And that sounds like a nice application, but then the question is, what is actually the job that they are getting done for their customers? And we gave 5 examples in the workbook. So one could be, well, it's for crew safety because their solution is safer than the chemicals that are currently used to work these oil spills. It might be a reduction in cost. It might be about green image. It could also even be about risk management. So you can imagine if you're in the business of risk management for your customers, it's a very different competitive field than when you're about chemicals and you're competing with sort of other providers of solutions in that space. It could be about fulfilling legal requirements. There's a whole bunch of jobs that potentially Sponge can do for your customers. So what we want to do then is get a better sense of the most important jobs that you can do, so the most interesting beachhead markets. And then we're going to work a little deeper, and that's going to be your assignment today. So you're going to see if you can find companies that are actually competing with you on one of the jobs that you can do for your customers. So here's an example called Slack. And maybe you know it, it's this app that you can use in companies, inside of companies, that's their focus. And what they do is you can chat, but you can also share files and you can do meetings and work together. So they can get many different jobs done. So if you look at the bottom left, it says United Communication. So they would be competing with Cisco, with their WebEx, for instance, and Microsoft. They can also be, if you go to the right bottom, sharing files. So you end up with Dropbox or Box or Google Drive. It's also about real-time collaboration, which is Skype and Google Docs, which is actually not in here, or GoToMeeting, which is a Citrix. It's a large company providing those services. If it's about business communication chat, there's more smaller players. Some use Skype, but not that big. WhatsApp probably the biggest player there. And then you could look task management and even go a little deeper, like project management. So you end up with Asana or Trello or maybe even Microsoft Project. So this is an interesting sort of field what you see here. And this is what we want you to do and present this in the national finals and in the grand final if you win your national final. So the exercise is to cut back your petal diagram to 3 petals. And if you use 6, you only have 7 minutes to pitch, so you're going to lose a lot of time. Focus on the 3 most important jobs that you can get done for your customer. Then next, explain, give examples of competitors in each petal, like the slide I showed you before. Next is that you select 2 competitive advantages that you have or want to develop over the competition to be able to defend yourself, and make it all in one really nice slide. That's this exercise. Take about 45 minutes, maybe an hour for that if there's enough time. And I'd love to say, well, let me know if you have questions, but I'm not in the room, so better ask questions to the national lead or the coach that is in the room if you have questions about this exercise. That's it. I wish you lots of good luck with this module. And if you want more stuff on videos, we're slowly building our video library at ClimateLaunchpad, so you can see that on YouTube. Thanks, and I hope to see you in the national finals or in the grand final.